The countdown comes up and your eyes just go. This is some serious stuff here. This is a real serial podcast. We don't mess around here, all right? You should know
Yeah,
this
I
by
understand.
now.
I'm super serious at the moment.
Super
gotta,
serious.
Yeah, you gotta try hard to bring up my funny side today.
I got a chance. I
Yeah,
feel like I
always.
have a chance.
Yeah, one glance into you and it is somehow awakens.
If there's someone who could dig it out of you, your goofy side, I feel like I could be the one.
You could be the one. I always tell you're the one for me. I'm not gonna sing because there's only one guy visiting this podcast that can sing very well, and it's not
Jim?
me.
It is remarkable how it's remarkable. Did you hear all of his singing? You had to have heard it all, right?
Well, I basically have it on my playlist, like repeat it all over again. It's my Rocky song, this kind of stuff before the match to motivate.
Wow. I mean, I'm sure Jim's going to tune in at some point in time during this, and we'll have to say that again. I mean, I go live and Jim just comes screaming. It's, he'll be here soon enough, and we'll let him know. He'll feel very special that you said that.
Happy to hear that. And I can wait because he always comes up with the best questions and points out always interesting stuff. Yeah, he is one of a kind character in our community, isn't he? Jim Topher.
That is one way of describing him.
Yeah, that's a dangerous topic. I know your relation, guys, is very much based on picking on each other, which I love, and I like to join from time to time.
Yeah, Jim and I basically just spend the entire time we're around each other just dogging on each other, which is fun. Yeah. It's not bad,
Yeah.
So for everybody who's tuning in, we are doing a live podcast, and did you see the name of this podcast?
Me? You asking me? No, I'm not. I don't have Facebook launched anywhere. So I'm focused 100% on you.
I have your name, which we can now, of course, see that you changed it again, the spelling on Facebook, which is just confusing even more. And then I have after that the most difficult to pronounce name in pool ? Is there anybody that you can think of in the world of pool that has a more difficult name?
Oh, definitely. You don't have to search far. I mean, with Conrad, there is barely anyone in the world that can pronounce this one. And with me, people are getting better. Yeah, I feel like my game is getting stronger just by the fact that people are getting better and pronouncing my name. This is like my best indicator. Screw Fargo and this kind of ranking points and anything. People know how to say my name.
There might be something to that. Who knows? So I guess for all the people who are tuning in, the proper pronunciation for your name, and it took me a long time, and I'm sure I'm still getting it wrong. Wojciech Szewczyk.
Oh yeah, that's the best I have ever heard from a foreigner. Let me add, because you can always hear the accent, but that was top notch. Really, congrats. And if you say Wojciech, yeah. The reason why it's Wojciech on Facebook is like the more formal way to say it. This is how I have it in my documents, and this is how most people actually know me. The name under this name. So I just changed it to Wojciech. That's the way to say it. Wojciech. It's H in the end instead of K. It's Wojciech. Very interesting. Polish language lesson in the beginning of the podcast. We're losing viewership for sure, don't we?
No, nonsense. I haven't even gotten to share it yet. I've just been messing around. All right. So what Conrad's last name, that's Justitian, right? Have I finally got it?
Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu is the best way to pronounce it.
Justitian?
Jiu-Jitsu, yeah, like the martial art. This is my favorite. Yeah, there was one tournament when someone pronounced it exactly like this, and I remembered it. And this is always, every time someone asks me, I'll just respond, just say Jiu-Jitsu. He loves it. But the correct way to say it is Justitian.
Justitian. That's what I said. Didn't I say that?
No. Well, yeah.
In an American.
Yeah, it's funny actually. Because not all the Polish names are so hard, but it seems to me that almost all pool players do really have this kind of very confusing name, very confusing spelling, because some sounds like really normal, but definitely not mine. Definitely not Konrad's.
Yeah. Mieszko is that's a pretty easy one. Fortunski.
Yeah, lucky guy.
Lucky guy. You could always change your name.
Yeah, of course you can change your name, but yeah, it's actually sometimes it's confusing when you go to a tournament you have never been before and no one knows you. I mean, and they announce who plays on which table. I basically follow my opponent's name most of the times because sometimes it's so much far off. I mean, I would never think of pronouncing it this way, like it happens sometimes.
Wojciech.
No, you were doing better previously. Just
well, I mean,
let's stick to Wojtek.
If you do the American pronunciation of it, that's probably what you're going to end up getting. Yeah, right. Yeah. So we were talking before we got, I guess, underway here, and we were kind of discussing the idea of the bar box, and we were talking about Shane and Dennis, and you had said that basically you had never played on a bar table, and you were kind of a little bit confused maybe about the game in general. Did you want to expand upon that idea?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm confused. I think I watched a little bit of professional games, and I played a little bit myself, and yeah, you can pretty quickly catch what is it about, that potting is not the most important skill on this kind of table, and but you have to be really tidy with your cue ball. Also, the break is massive. I mean, on all sizes of tables, it's very important. But you could see from the stats that Dennis was breaking and running around 30% of racks, whereas Shane got more than 50% of them. But I like the game. It's just very different. I'm not sure if I will be good at this. Overall, I think my cue ball is pretty neat. So I would like to have a go once I visit States for more than just one tournament. Pretty interested. And I heard that there are some really good tournaments from fellow pool players. Like Fedor told me that in the US, the money really is in the bar box tables. So it's like completely something different. You don't see that in Europe at all. It's a completely different game. But I don't see a reason why European players wouldn't be good at it. Probably they would need some time because it seems easy, but if someone is experienced, then it's probably tough to beat. So yeah, I would like to have a match against someone experienced to see where the difference is coming from. Like you, yeah, like you prefer smaller distances.
Well, I can't see to the other side of the table, and I play on a 9-footer. I just.
What do you think is the biggest difference between those sizes of tables? I mean, we are talking pretty basic stuff, yeah, but I'm just interested.
Yeah, it's definitely the potting of the balls for me. I think so, anyways. Especially, if you're going to talk about a diamond bar table or a diamond big table, it's just the potting of the balls. Having the confidence to, kind of shoot 2 foot further on most shots and still be able to control the cue ball with that. Nate is trash. Oh, that's not very nice. Wojtek, stand up for me. Tell him to be nice.
No, I'm a big fan of Nate's game. To be honest, I always thought he is only a funny guy that doesn't really know which side of the stick he should use. But whenever I see him playing, he is actually pretty decent, good shot maker. Impressive. You always get an impression that you're gonna just hit and hope, but then you come up with some big shots. I don't know where do you have that from. That must be pure talent.
It's a lot of never playing positioning. But we're here to talk about you. So let's talk about you. So this is my opinion. So let me start by saying I'm the biggest kiss up in the entire world of pool. But I honestly think that you are the most underrated / unknown top pool player in the world. Now, I'm not putting you in the category of Shane and Albin and Fedor, but you're in that next category of players. And am I mistaken in seeing that you're one of the newest members of the 800 Fargo Club? And if I'm not mistaken, I think you're still going up. You're up like 804 or 805 right now.
Yeah, lately I was 804. Yeah, that's something I'm pretty proud about, I would say. Definitely.
And yet
I
most
know.
people don't know you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Right now I'm ranked around 26, I think. Yeah, which is my huge achievement, and I've been like a top amongst Polish players for quite a long time right now.
Yeah.
Which at first I found surprising. I didn't know at all, but then I kept on checking the ranking because I'm a great fan of it. Actually, I don't know the whole algorithm, but I like this kind of stuff, and I always follow some comments, people asking how does it work, and it sounds just very professional, like the most accurate. It should be one of the most accurate ranking of all if you have enough games in a record. But yeah, 804 is a great achievement, but the rankings are getting higher also, right? Like one year ago you got only like top 10 above 800. Right now there are around 30. But yeah, as you said, still
there are exactly 34.
34, yeah, so that's many more. So basically I'm around, I think it's my top place, but I was around 30 for a couple 2 or 3 years now, which I find, yeah, like I'm very happy of that. As I told you, I'm very fond of this achievement. And what more can I say about it? I sometimes I catch myself thinking about it, like when I'm on the tournament on the Euro Tour, because I know they keep track of the Euro Tour. I feel like I wanna win high if I have any opportunity. Then I go up in the ranking just for my self pleasure. Yeah.
Well, I mean, just to show you how top of a player you are, you're 2 points behind a player like Alex Kazakis and James Aranis. You're even with Jeffrey Ignacio, Nayuki Oi, Johan Chua, and some players you're ahead of. Mario, he's won I want to say 5 Euro Tours, 4 or 5 Euro Tours.
Yeah, you must be correct around that. Yeah, that's true.
So
and still, I
David
don't have that many
Alkaidi,
wins
Sky Woodward. Yeah, I mean, you're ranked ahead of these players. For a player that's ranked that high, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. And then I still don't have that many achievements when it comes to top finishes in the tournaments yet. And I got a couple, but like you said, well, if you compare to Alex, if you said just 2 points above me, it's almost the same. He has already won so much, and also with David, with James Aranas and other guys you mentioned. Yeah, of course they are known, but they also don't have like world titles yet. But still, almost everyone you mentioned won more than me, I guess. What do you think is the reason? I'll ask you. Maybe you'll help me out.
It's because
always unlucky.
It's because you have not been the last person to lose at a tournament.
Yeah. That's perfectly. Yeah, you put it perfectly. I mean, we got a question. How long have I been playing? I started pretty early.
Well,
I was not.
Yeah, let's jump into that. Let's take us through when you started.
Yeah, let's take a step back. I mean, I started when I was 9 years old. That was like my very first steps in the pool hall, very non-professional one, and I got a first coach, and I was coached until I was around 15 by some different players, like better players of the pool hall. Yeah, not like top pros, but just some enthusiasts of the game. And then after being 15, you don't really have many coaches in Poland. You don't really have professional coaches in Poland, so it was hard to find anyone. And after that, I basically on my own, trying to discover the game, all the aspects. I'm also quite analytical about the game, so I love like looking at all the factors you can, like psychologically, technically. So I try to discover this stuff just by, I don't know, also following stuff on the internet, just by my own experience, and also talking to people. But yeah, maybe this is also something I missed in my career, like a team that would help me out, a coach. I'm also doing some steps in that direction, but yeah, so overall I'm playing for quite a long time right now. It's getting close to 20 years almost. Professionally, I would say since I was 15, 16, I have always trained hard. And right now I'm playing fully professionally. So I really also hope that the results will come as I'm putting a lot of effort.
And so you're saying you're 20. How old are you now? 27?
Soon, soon 27.
Yeah. So you made the disclaimer that you're playing professionally right now.
Yeah.
That is a switch because most of your contemporaries will say, players around your age like Alex Kazakis, he's a little bit older.
Yeah.
Albin is a little bit older, but you did something that they didn't, where you didn't just turn 18 or 19 or 20 and get out of school and be done. You actually stayed in college and got yourself a master's degree.
Yeah, I did, and I no regrets there. Sometimes wondering what would happen if I went all in, but even though I love pool so much, and it's also not an easy decision to keep following what you want, I'm glad that I also tried to discover some other stuff in life. So yeah, I'm happy that I went to university, and maybe I find it useful one day, but right now I still want to try. I got fuel and fire in my heart, fuel in my veins. I want to try be professional.
So, and then you did say earlier that you like to approach the game very analytically.
Yeah,
that makes sense with the degree you have. Tell us what you got your master's degree in.
Well, I split my studies into two. So my bachelor is in power engineering because I'm a math guy. I like math, physics. So also my father works in this industry. So, and I really enjoyed those studies. I learned a lot. And then I went for my master's to economic school, for e-business. So that was something completely new. I was like under impression that maybe I will at some point want to start up a startup or a company. And in the internet there are just a lot of opportunities. And if I want to run another business, maybe a pool hall or something, also your knowledge about how to move on the internet is important. So I figured I just want to check it out. And also the university, they are both in Warsaw. They are both placed in Warsaw, and it always seems so much fun. I got a lot of friends going to that university, so that was also a factor. I wanted to try it out. So I studied there for another 2 years and graduated half a year ago. So basically, I want to see results right now, but I have just finished my studies not so long ago. But I have always been practicing. It's not like I was only studying. I was basically trying to pass everything, but I was not really doing extra stuff like all other co-students were going for some, how do you say it, like part-time jobs or anything to get experience. I wasn't doing that. I was basically passing classes pretty okay. And then going to the pool hall to practice for the second part of the day, and then going for tournaments. It was also sometimes pretty difficult to pass all the exams because you weren't there. Just you had to go for a year or two. There were certain tournaments that I would never miss, and yeah, that was a challenge.
Yeah. So I would say probably the biggest hindrance to your game was the opportunity to get a lot of those big titles. Of course, you're still going to, like you said, you're still going to go to some that you won't pass up. But a lot of the mid tournaments, like maybe like an international open in the US or like a Derby City Classic, or maybe the All Japan Open, or the China
never
Open.
Played any of them you mentioned. I played the World 9 Ball Championships for every year for the last 6-7 years, so I don't really miss out on those like dream-like tournaments. Because my dream is to become a world champion. So I qualify through Euro Tours. So I can play those events. I also played China Open. I played a bunch of mushroom events too, 5 or 6. But as you say, if you get more chances, you get more chances to score something and get confidence. And then it's like you can get more. It can ignite a spark for further success. So I have never played Derby. I have never played enough in states. That's for sure. That I could get myself more comfortable in the. Just in the community. I agree. Yep. But still, I have already played around 60 Euro Tours in my life. Haven't won one yet. That's a big goal also.
How many? 60?
Yeah. When you think about it, it's those numbers, because I play in the Euro Tours more than 10 years, and you got 6-7 a year. So I could have played even 70 or more than that. I was in the final once, and it was a long time ago. Actually, I was doing pretty okay as a. Coming from a junior to senior, because my breakthrough year well, I'm not sure if it was breakthrough, but when I turned 18, I got second in the Euro Tour, and then right after I got a spot in the World Cup of Pool where we also finished second. And then I played World Pool Masters, and I won just one match, but it's, well, not only one match, because I was 18 and I played Copini, and I played a beautiful match against him. Very memorable for me. So it was all looking very good. And after that, obviously, I had some better moments in Poland, outside Poland too. I won some tournaments, but never really got like this, I don't know, to this big title. Feel like I'm taking small steps.
Well,
But maybe it will taste better at the end.
you're about to take some big ones, right? Because you're now playing professionally, full-time professional for the first time in your life.
Not really my first time, the first time in my life, because in between studies, bachelor and masters, I had 1.5 years off, when I also wanted to try how would it look like if I only played pool. And yeah, it was a lot of hard work. And like after a year, I started to win tournaments in Europe. But I was also already signed up for the next studies, so I didn't give up on that. But I could see results, so it also makes me believe right now that if I put some extra work, it will come up at some point, that I still have it. But what changed a lot is I have always played a lot professionally, but I would say it was semi-professionally or even professionally. But now I feel like I really became an athlete, actually. This is what I feel that changed, really. I just try to develop in many ways as an athlete, not only a pool player.
Okay, so take us through that. What were the changes you made?
Well, besides practicing, there is just more research. Definitely working on my fitness a lot. That changed very much. I have always been like tall and skinny. I still am, but now there, I just wanted to take care of my health a little bit, and of course your back is always a suspect to be hurtful if you're tall and skinny. So I took care of that also, and there is just more healthy eating. There is more working on my mind to find more balance, meditation, and so yeah, if someone asks me how many hours I practice a day, I never know what to respond, because I work some hours on the table, but I also have 2-3 hours a day of things outside and outside the table. And if you add this up, it's very often is like a full-time job, like 8 hours a day, but it's like very intense work actually, because there is no one you can lie to. You have no boss. If you do your work properly, you know it. If you do it poorly, you also know it, that you didn't really push yourself. So if you want to have like a full 8 hours of work, this can be really intense.
So I guess take us through. You're kind of playing full time now professionally, and you're traveling around more. Take us through your resume for the rest of the year. What do you have on the docket that you're trying to get to?
Trying to get to, or what have I already
as far
won?
As tournaments coming up.
Oh yeah, soon. Yeah, as we spoke before the podcast, I was really planning and hoping to come to the States for at least a full month with the World 10 Ball, with US Open, and also some Predator stops along the way. But yeah, with all the travel restrictions, it got really complicated. I'm not sure if I can even make it to the US Open. For the World 10 Ball, I didn't get a spot, unfortunately. I got pretty low in the Euro Tour rankings lately, and it was all players from the last edition were invited again. So even though before that I did pretty good, I got 9th and almost in the quarters. I lost the hill, and the World 10 Ball I got no spot, which hurt a little bit, because it's always a chance to be a world champion. If you don't take part, there is no chance at all. But yeah, so the US Open is one of them. I really hope I can make it. It all depends on Matchroom, if they can grant us like this special invitation from the Schengen area. If not, then I'll be not able to come. So no US this year. Apart from that, for the first time in my life, I was picked for the national team for the European Championships. So actually, I feel this is one of my goals. I'm not sure how all players see it. It is true that Eurotour is actually probably a tougher tournament to win, but somehow European Champions title brings more prestige, I believe. So if I get my first chance, I would like to do well there. It's in November in Turkey, and this is well. Then we have also Polish Championships in December, but my main goal right now is after the US Open, the European Championships.
It's got to be like crazy. Like the Polish Championships is almost a Euro Tour in itself, I feel like, with all of the Polish champions there are today.
Yeah, it's a very difficult tournament to win. That's true, and I'm doing pretty good in Poland actually lately. I have already won 4 national titles, and I haven't been competing for a couple years. So I won these 4 titles in the last 3 years. So we basically play three disciplines. So I'm doing pretty good. But you also don't have all the players in the Polish Championships. I mean, Wiktor Zieliński hasn't played for a couple years, and so some other top guys are not playing, but most of them are. So anytime you get even a medal, that's a good result. And also winning the Polish ranking, which I did last year, was quite an achievement, I would say. So yeah, it's very strong in Poland. I'm actually very happy of that, because you got players you can look up to. There is always someone else that is on fire at a period of time, and it like gives you extra motivation that I want to get there too. Yeah, I want it to be my time. I think it's beneficial. It's harder to get to the mushroom events though. This is the tougher part.
So I would say the knock on Poland is they have a ton of players that are really, really, really good, but there are 0 players that are on the top caliber of players. Mm-hmm. So, for example, the first Euro Tour back from COVID, the one in Austria, the final 16 had 7 Polish players in it. Pretty good. The next one, the next final 16 had 9 Polish players. None of those players made it into the quarters, into the semis.
Yeah. So one reason for that is we were clashing against each other also, but obviously, but this is something we noticed a long time ago, that it used to be last 32. In last 32, we used to have around 8-9 players, and then because it's like the last match of the day, and last 16 starts in the morning the next day, and to the last 16 there were most of the times 1 or 2. So now we move 1 round further. I can see we got 8-9 in last 16, and then we are all cutting out. It's actually funny. I don't know where does it come from, because in the Euro Tour you get those tough matches much earlier, like the winners qualification, the first round. They are all you play against top players all the time from this point. And obviously, if it's a toss of a coin, in every match, then at some point you might lose. But why do, like, as a group we lose at the same round? I have no idea. And you got any idea why is that? I mean, is this some kind of pressure against each other, that we see each other doing okay, and when someone drops out, then I don't know, the stamina goes down from I have no idea.
It's hard to say, but I mean, if you look at it, I mean, the players you're losing to, I mean, it's not like you're losing to Nate. You're losing to real players.
To real players and with real scores. Like, it's very rarely 9-3, 9-2, and it's after a fight. But it's true that we still don't have too many Euro Tour wins. I mean, Mateusz Śniegocki is the leader, definitely, with a 3, and then you got a couple players that won it just once. So with all if you have 8-9 players in the last 16, you would expect more. But maybe let's take it just as a slow progress with us as a nation. As I told you, it's not a joke. It was looking like this from last 32. Now it's last 16, and slowly, maybe we're taking over the European scene. I would like that.
Yeah. So, with that being said, let's ask you a question. Let's remove you from the pool of Polish players. Just for the first question, who are your top 5 Polish players right now?
Right now, okay, because this is important to add this, because it can change from month to month, maybe couple months. Right now, I'll exclude me because
Yep.
it's not for my judgment. So I would say Mieszko, Konrad, Juszczyszyn, Tomasz Kaplan. I have always been a fan of Karol Skowerski's game, actually. You probably don't know too much about him too, because he is not traveling too frequently, but he's super talented guy. And he went through COVID very, very tough, in a very tough way. So he's recovering slowly. He's playing already, but you can see that it puts some mark on him. He was my partner in the World Cup of Pool. In that year, he was playing just strict top level. I mean, at that year, he also won the Whirlpool Masters that year. I mean, I could barely see him miss.
Wow.
I wanted to watch his matches just to see him miss from time to time, but it never happened. I mean,
To
he
root
was
for
playing
him.
unbelievably. So that's what maybe from this year it just drags on that I have this opinion about him that he has just a huge potential, because if he was capable of playing like this for a whole season, then he has the game. That's for sure. So, but right now he's a little bit down. So I said three already. Yeah, Mieszko, Konrad, Kaplan. I would include Wiktor Zielinski. And
He's been having a tear of it. He's been playing good lately since COVID.
yeah, he's playing all right. I would say he's playing all right. I know he can do better, because I actually play from time to time with him. We as practice sessions, and there is more at him. That's for sure. And now I will also say Daniel Macho, actually, the guy you don't know, a very young guy from my team. And lately he was just shooting so straight and with confidence. Very talented also. He's only 20 years old or 21 maybe. And he could do some damage. He was actually a world junior champion, and he had a tough time transferring to seniors. But he's slowly doing it, gaining more confidence. He was playing very well on the World Championships. He beat Naoyuki Oi 9-1 in the group.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And later on, he lost heel to Omar, actually. One of the Omar's heel matches where he was leading 8-2, Daniel. And then he made some rookie mistake, like, taking the win for granted. He confessed later on to me. I can see a comment from Adam, of course. As a sixth person, always Adam Stish. Or maybe he also meant the other guy I want to mention about Mateusz Śniegocki, or my very, very good friend. I'm always rooting for him, and just now he has won a Polish tournament. I mean, East Side European tournament, Best of the East. I don't know if you have ever heard of it, but this is basically mostly Polish players and a couple good guys from the east side of Europe. So he's also one of the top. So I mentioned sixth. This is the sixth to me.
Okay, so we're gonna add you into this, and we're gonna take your top four with you, and you have to play the U.S. in the Mosconi Cup. Do you guys think you win?
We got a good shot at this. Mosconi is different because you get this extra pressure that no Pole has ever experienced. So if you mean exactly like Alexandra Palace environment, then I would say no, we'll not win. But if you say a pool hall, just a group of people and a familiar pool hall, just like less pressure and just more clash of skill, then we have a shot, I think. Definitely.
Such a politically correct way of answering that.
No, because it all depends on the circumstances. Yeah,
of course.
Because we actually played against each other a lot, and because Konrad and Mieszko are the guys that travel the most to the US.
Yeah,
and they played most matches, and I think they have really good stats against Billy or Sky. I have never played Billy. I played Sky once and I won. I played Shane 3 times. I won once. And so yeah, it could happen. I mean, we wouldn't be really like frightened. It would be a nice challenge.
Yeah, you wouldn't be drawn dead. Yeah, and I agree. I think if you lined up the top 5 players from a country, I don't think that there's any country in Europe that could beat you, except for maybe Austria, because the top 3 in Austria are really strong.
Yeah, top 3. But if you say top 5, there is a big gap in Austria from 3rd to 4th place. They still have a couple of really good players, but they don't really travel that much.
Greece would be tough.
This 3 definitely stands out. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yep. And Greece, I think Greece would be tough too. I think they would have
Spain is also pretty strong right now.
Yep. So I guess let's talk through some of your recent sponsors, because you were not you kind of were sponsored, but you kind of weren't really earlier on in your career. It was just kind of a friend that you were playing with this equipment because you liked it. But since you've gone more professional, touring professional, playing all the events you can, you have gained a couple sponsors. So why don't you talk about those?
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. Actually, after COVID, we don't get too many chances to show yourself, but it also was a good time for me regarding getting some support. I got sponsored by Metscuse. Thank you very much to Kaz and to Yuri Talu for contacting me and being so nice to me all the time. I mean, this cooperation is going for half a year right now, and it's going great. I get a lot of support, not only like materially wise, but also a nice support with some messages and just cheering me up. And this is one thing. The other thing is I got some more support from the Polish Federation since I won the Polish ranking. So I basically won it in some way, but it is there. Yeah, I get sponsorship for some tournaments. So this is the second thing. And the third thing that appeared right before the World Cup of Pool, I got in touch with a businessman from Poland and a great pool enthusiast, Tomasz Jedlecki, and his new company, VAG Wheels and Parts, that is just starting right now, but he has other businesses too. So he basically saw something in me, and we got a common friend. So we got in touch, and actually we talked so much through the phone. We are appointed for this week to practice a little bit, because he really loves this stuff, this technical stuff, and talking about all the aspects of the game. So that's a really nice relation that we are having right now. So yeah, out of no sponsors, I have 3, I would say, at this moment. It can change at some point. I have to do very good in Poland to keep this sponsorship from the federation. But these two I have here. I mean, I hope it's the beginning of like long-lasting and like successful cooperations. Very grateful for having them on board.
And I was almost a sponsor, but you're the only person that's ever shot me down.
No, Nate,
Such a bummer.
I feel like the negotiations are just still in progress. I'm not getting any new offers from you. And as I told you, I'm very basically not that expensive. If you send me a hoodie, I will wear your patch on my forehead for the rest of the season. But you still refuse to do that.
Well, I told you that I told you I would send you a care package, and you're like, no, just bring it to me when we see each other at the U.S. Open. So I don't know what you want from me, man. I'm trying so hard.
I wanted to save you some costs, and to be honest, I don't remember saying that. But yeah, it would be better. I finally want to meet you in person. Do some fun stuff.
You probably didn't say it, but I said it. So if you say something, if you say it with enough confidence, you'll probably just fold, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's one of the unwritten rules of life.
That's got to be it, right? So let's talk a little bit about, I guess, some of your actual career highlights. So what do you think at this point in your career is the best win that you've had, or the one that means the most to you? And then what is the one title that you would like to win more than any other at this point in your career?
Okay, so my biggest win when it comes to difficulty, I believe that was Metz Bucharest Open 2018, because it was basically all the players you get in the Euro Tours, because we were all chasing the Mosconi points back then, and you got 230 players, and so more than in a Euro Tour, and all of the top names, and I managed to win this one. So it wasn't a Euro Tour, but it felt like one, and my route to the win wasn't too easy. But what I remember as my biggest achievement, where I played the best, was the win in the same year, the Rokietnica Open in Poland. It was also Mosconi Cup ranking points event, because there I was just not missing at all, almost. I can remember, I remember that I made 11 consecutive breaks and runs. It was alternate break, but it basically carried on for 11 racks and with 9 on the spot. So I was really on fire, and during the whole tournament, the biggest scoreline I had was 9-4. So I was really like putting so much pressure and playing so well against all opponents throughout the whole event, like top level all the time. So that was something I was really proud of. Definitely my best performance of my life. With this kind of accuracy and this kind of performance, I think that on this day, on these couple of days, I could win any tournament almost. So that was really nice. It's something you really practice for, because it's just such a great feeling of pride of yourself, like, and super confidence and calmness together. This is something as a sportsman you really love, yeah. So that's very memorable for me, and I don't really feel like it's bragging, because it just happens to some players from time to time. You're just in the zone, yeah, for a string of games, and this is what happened there. That was just great feeling, you know, and I'm waiting for it to happen again. And Adam is mentioning in the comments here a match with Kevin Cheng. That was also nice. That was during the US Open. The last one we played, so already the matchroom one, where I ran out the set from 3-2 to 11. So that was actually funny, because I was pretty nervous, pretty anxious playing him, and we were playing a morning match. I was practicing because we had some practice time, like more than usually, more than one rack. I had the full table for 20-30 minutes, and I couldn't make a ball. I honestly couldn't run out anything. I was a little bit nervous, but I was just hitting the ball and was so far from the pocket. I didn't know what was happening. And then the match started, and I ran an 8-pack on him. So yeah, that was just so unexpected, you know, from me. And it also was just thrilling to happen that it happened. So yeah, there's many good memories. Yeah, that's pretty strong.
That's pretty strong.
Yeah. So yeah, those are the good memories. And carrying on, when you ask me about the achievement I would really like, I think it must be the Euro Tour, because I tried so many times. I mean, it was heartbreaking so many times to be out of it, to like so many heel losses in the big matches, and with just so many attempts. I mean, it has always been a dream of me, and I know my family, my father, that was my great supporter. I was traveling since I was a kid. Now my girlfriend is giving me an angry look that I mentioned that my father is a great supporter. She gives me an angry look because she is also. But what I meant is that since my young age, I was traveling for the Euro Tour already, and we always dreamt that I will one day win it. So I feel ready. Yeah, it can happen any tournament right now, but I would really like this one.
Just so everybody out there who's watching knows, he actually doesn't have a girlfriend. He just made that up because she's never been seen, so she's not real.
Oh my God, she just faded away when you said it.
No, that's awesome. I have to admit, I'm a little disappointed. I thought maybe the semifinals of the Fiji 10 would have been on your list, but I guess it wasn't. But that's fine.
Have I ever played the semis? I think I was out in the quarters.
Was it the quarters?
I think it was the quarters, but I was so close you could almost smell.
I think you lost. I think you lost to Alex Kazakis once, and
I lost to Naoyuki for sure when I was breaking to win. Yeah. Actually, I lose a lot of close calls lately. If I could only turn around a couple of them, could be in a different spot right now.
Well, it took a while for Alex to do it, but once Alex did, well, I guess we're yet to see. But...
Yeah, his story is actually pretty inspiring. He's a great guy and a great player.
Awesome,
he has a great ability to win tournaments. I mean, he's really grinding through some tough moments, and this is his superpower.
if Alex is watching, I don't like you because you didn't want to come on to the podcast after that. But it's cool. It's cool, man. Don't worry about it. I'll get you on
It's fun.
someday.
It's fun, Alex. I recommend it to you. Nate is a great host. Wait a second, I lost my lines here. Nate is a great host.
Yeah.
He's a great pool supporter.
There you
You
go.
should join.
Yep, there you go. That was right. That was good. Yeah. So, okay. So next question. So when you grew up playing, did you have a role model? Did you have a favorite player you looked up to?
I think it changes from time to time. I like to pick stuff from players because taking it from other sports, I mean, this is one of the ways to be a champion, just to pick like some stuff that players are good at or best in the world at. So I just try to, I don't know, take Fayen's confidence or Albin's veins made of ice, and his coolness, and
Fedor's jumping.
or Fedor's jumping, yeah, or Carlo Biado's creativity. You just try to learn what is best in certain players and try to apply some of it to some. I try to pick some technical stuff, try them out. I don't know if I had like a full role model. I had my favorite players, and it changed from time to time because all players have like all of those big names had like a period in their career when they seemed unbeatable, really. So it's really easy to look up to them when they don't miss.
Yep. Yeah, my favorite player growing up was actually Francisco Bustamante. I just when I was watching him play in ESPN days, I mean, he was fantastic. But I mean, he didn't stay there very very long. But okay, so now I am going to now ask you. Or I'm going to name something, and you're going to tell me the first person that comes to mind. So, for example, if I was going to say scoring goals, you might say Wayne Gretzky. Hopefully, you'd know hockey since you're from Poland. I don't know.
Yeah, I know a little bit.
Okay, so I'm gonna say an aspect of the game. You're gonna say the first person's name that comes to mind. Good. Shot making.
Name them.
That's almost fitting.
Yeah. Joshua. Even though he's not on top of his game lately, then Joshua.
Isn't it crazy? He's not on top of his game, and he's still won a Euro Tour.
And he's on top of Fargo rating. Yeah. But I think he would agree with me. Maybe silently, because you don't want to bring it into public, even if you don't feel it. You don't want to talk about it. But we'll still see better from him.
Best cue ball.
Albin.
Best break.
Which game?
9 ball. 9 on the spot.
9 on the spot. So you're some European. Kachi. Or
Kachi.
Well,
I would not have expected Kachi. He's good. He's an absolute beast.
Yeah, you told me to come up with my first guess. I just remember him winning a Euro Tour, and I was following a couple of his matches, and he was making 2 balls, like the 1 ball and the wing ball, like every time that it just caught my attention. Yeah, so that's why I thought about him. I'm not sure if it's like reliable throughout a season or more, but I just remember him breaking very well.
Most clutch.
Most clutch? What does it mean? I know what a clutch is in a car.
Best under pressure.
Best under pressure. And that, again, Albin, very strong. What he did in the World Championships, and how he fought back in the final against Omar, when everyone thought that Albin will have an easy win, which he was aware of for sure, that everyone sees him as a great favorite, because you could tell the difference between the semifinals. Yeah, he put on a clinic on David, and then Oliver against Omar was a little, in the beginning, very scrappy, later on better. But then suddenly he found himself like back in the match, behind in the match, and then basically gave no chance to Omar from this point. That required some like amazing willpower and amazing mental power, mental strength. That was very impressive.
Champion.
At this moment, Fedor. I like him as a guy too, because it's much more than potting balls being a champion. He is very young, so and many things can happen, but also very mature. And also David Al-Qaeda.
That's a good answer. David is fearless.
Fearless. Well, Jason Shaw, and also David Al-Qaeda, but you can see sometimes that he feels pressure, but he fights it so nicely. I mean, with fire in his eyes like this Spaniard's blood. I always like when he's in this state, when he's just fighting hard with all his heart. So then he becomes fearless, like stronger than his fears, I would say, on the table.
Favorite person to hang out after the match or after the tournament?
Mario Hay is very likable. I always like chatting to him, for example.
Why?
Mario? Why is he likable?
Yeah, I've never been around Mario. I've never talked to him. From my understanding of him, he always seems like a little bit more of a quiet person. But I've never spent any time around him.
Yeah, but he's funny quiet, you know. He's
Okay.
silent, and then he's sitting with this little smile and comes up with a joke, and also likes to have a laugh. So it's just like very chilled atmosphere with talking to him, and you just feel relaxed. It's nice. And we also just after this Euro tour, I told him we always have like the most interesting battles, and every time something happens. Once at Hill, he fluked the 9 against me, just missed completely a shot and fluked it somewhere else. This time we were playing also Hill, also I lost, but at 8-6 he broke, and we were not sure if it was legal or not, and we were so unsure what to do in this situation. And then I carried on. I ran the rack. It was 8-7. Then I popped the 9 of the break, the golden break. So it's 8-8. Always a lot of drama against this guy. It's amazing. I get this. He's like my top opponent when it comes to that. We had so many Hill finishes, but we are still good friends.
Most respected in Europe?
By me or by public opinion?
Both.
Yeah, again, when we mentioned David, I mean, to me, he is like a real champion. So I see no reason why someone would not respect to the fullest David Al-Qaeda. And Fedor, again, this is the champion. Champions are the guys that should be respected.
Gotcha. Perfect. Well, that will conclude those questions. I have one more question for you, and that
I have a question in the comments section also.
Oh yeah,
because I don't want to leave them
Glorious.
unanswered. Do you plan on coming to the US? And if so, who would you like to play? I would love to come more to the US because there is so much experience to gain, so many more tournaments, and great conditions of play, which is also not a gimme in Europe everywhere. And yeah, I do plan to come more often. I wanted to come for at least a month this year, but with travel restrictions, it can be tough. And if you mean like a bigger matches, like 1-2 head-to-head matches, I'm open for any challenge actually. Probably some of the younger guys on fire from USA. I would like to give it a shot. Some well-known names. Why
so
not?
who would you like to play from the US right now? If you had a dream matchup against a player and a race game, all that stuff, who would you?
Dream matchup is against Shane, that's for sure. Would be a match against Shane, but I know I wouldn't be a favorite to win this one, and that would be 9-ball or 10-ball. I'm trying to learn some of the more creative games too. I'm starting to play more banks and more one pockets, but I'm a newbie still very much. But that would be 9-ball or 10-ball against Shane, a longer race.
Okay, so who would you like to play? Who else would you like to play? I want to spark some action. I want to see you in the ring.
Well, you also have a lot of foreigners living in the US, right? Some Filipinos. Dennis is living in the US. That will be a really tough action for sure.
That'd be tough. Yeah. Although 10-ball, I think you got a better chance against him than you do against Shane. I mean, Shane's break is just devastating.
I know, but it would be just pure pleasure to experience this. Would be nice to play Sky, because I also like him as a guy. We talked a little bit on some competition, and I don't know. For sure, we're not like close friends, but I just like him, and like I think this would be just. I like the matches where it's a pure clash of skill. I don't like outside drama and gamesmanship, this kind of stuff. So I like just pure matches. I know it's something that sometimes spectators like, but to me, just having a nice match, like focused just on the game, would be something I would enjoy more. So Sky, and I would like to play James Aranas. Maybe he is also like getting so much better right now, and I'm just curious how would I do against him. So if I have to name a few, that would be them.
That would be awesome. I'd love to watch you and Sky play like a 9 on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be awesome. But not on the bar tables.
Definitely not a bar table. Yeah, there I would stand no chance. But I would like to see why, actually. I would play him, and I would like to see where the difference is. Yeah, I know I would lose, almost for sure, a longer race. But yeah, I would like to experience that.
Yeah. Well, we'll get you out of here on this question. Who in your life has been most pivotal to you advancing as a player? Or give a couple shout outs to the people who have helped you out along the way.
Yeah, my parents were very supportive from the very beginnings, and with all this stuff, my father driving me to all the tournaments, of course, also sometimes cutting some other expenses to be able to afford me playing in some events, or buying me stuff, buying me some pool gear, and this is for sure. Also some coaches along the way, including Marek Derek, Wojciech Trajdos, Piotr Sokół, and Jan Grzybowski. Jan Grzybowski is the guy that was my first coach. Jan Grzybowski.
Was that English?
Sure no. He is Polish, and just funny. But I was playing in like a rubbish pool hall at first, and he was just the best player right there. But if it wasn't for him, I don't think I would be a pool player ever, because he had just so much passion, and we were meeting, I think, 2 or 3 times a week for some practice. I was just a little kid, 10 years old, but he was always coming up with so much enthusiasm, coming up with videos of some amazing shots. It was also, let's remember, it was like 15 years ago, so it like the availability of some recordings wasn't as big as it is right now. So he was coming up with all those interesting shots by top players, showing me stuff, and always like so excited about everything. So he made me probably fall in love with the game, and he also taught me a lot of good basics. So I gotta give it to him. It was just, an accident that I met him, but I don't think I would be playing if it wasn't him. And then later in my career, also my girlfriend, that doesn't exist. She's helping me a lot all the time, and is very supportive and pushes me into my career, which isn't obvious, because sometimes in our age, in this in a relationship, playing pool is not like something like a certain money, and it's for me, it's following my dreams, and she's supportive. She understands that, and I love it always the most when she is even pushing me to go for a tournament or something. This is like a real support. And also a lot of friends along the way. Adam Ścisz putting some comments here. He is a great friend and always supporting me so much. All my sponsors along the way, also all my teammates, Mateusz Śniegowski for many years. We were in one team for 8 or 9 years. So when we started, I was a teenager, and I was just, knocking on the door for being a top Polish player. And he already was. He was the best back then, in my opinion. And he showed me so much. I learned so much from him. So I'm very grateful for that. And also Kuba Sawicki, kind of my, I don't want to say life mentor, but he's just such a positive guy. I mean, he's also the one that recommended me working on my mind more. And just he brings so much positive attitude. We just talk from time to time, but every time you talk to this guy, you just feel like you're flying a little bit. He has so much good energy. And all those little meetings, all those little relationships, I have a lot of them in my life. This is probably when I feel a rich man. I have like a lot of valuable little relationships, like with you, Nate. Basically, now all jokes aside, like having good guys in my life is something I cherish and really appreciate. And like many people helped me out in smaller or bigger way.
I can't believe we made it through this entire podcast without you noticing, or at least calling out, my sweet Kelly Fisher poster.
Oh no, it just comes from jealousy. I wanted to be there on that wall. We were talking about it, but it's a great photo, I have to admit. And Kelly is a lovely person, so yeah, I would have just the same on my wall if I had one.
All I'm saying, man, is if I had one for you, I'd have it like right, I don't know, here.
I'll send
Raleigh
you one.
Williams tuning in. Hello, Raleigh.
Hello, Raleigh.
Do you know Raleigh?
Thank you very much for. Yeah, I know Raleigh. From, correct me if I'm mistaken. Is he from Kamoichi?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know Raleigh. Yeah, great videos by you. I always enjoy watching them. For sure, you make all those shots sooner than later, and then you have to shoot more where you screwed up just to put up a video, because you know those videos when he is trying out a shot that a pro made in the first try, and he's recreating them. Yeah, cool concept.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool. Raleigh, are you going to be at the U.S. Open? Now we got to hang out long enough for him to respond. Although he probably just commented and then just left right away.
Yeah.
He's not cool enough to hang around. He's just only cool enough to tune in for a couple seconds, right? And all the Facebook people are like, "What's going on? What are you talking about?" Because they can't see the comment because it was on YouTube, but we can see it.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah.
So that's always fun. Oh yeah, I get to hang out with Raleigh.
So you guys good friends?
I would like to think so. I mean, he's like my spirit animal. He's like what I strive to be.
Cool. I see.
Yeah, so I don't know.
And Nate, do you plan to play the US Open, or are you coming as whom? As a
I'm trying to get
journalist?
A press pass. Yeah, I'm trying to get a press pass for it. So we'll see. I'm trying to get a press pass for it, but I'm going to be there regardless. I'm not going to play in it though.
You probably the entry fee was a little bit lower because it's fun experience, to play. I guess.
It's less about that. It's less about that, and it's more about I'm not a real player in that field, and there were a lot of real players who never got a spot. So
okay.
This isn't what I do for a living, and it's not it's not my. I mean, it's not what I do for a living, and it's not like I have to have this to feed my family. And there are some players
can spend this time better in a better way.
Yeah. And there are some players that I know that didn't get into it that do rely on this as an income. So I wouldn't feel right taking up a spot when somebody like Danny Olson didn't get one. Like Danny doesn't have a family, but he does do this for. I mean, this is his job. So I feel like I feel like he should be playing in it before somebody like me. So plus now I don't have to worry about going 2-0 and getting my face kicked in.
Well, it all depends on the draw and your preparation, right? If you signed up, we would practice hard online all the time.
Probably not, but maybe, who knows? I don't know. So Raleigh's going over to Facebook. Well, you're not going to make it there in time, Raleigh, because we are all concluded. It's pretty late there, your time. What is it, like 9:30 there?
Yeah, 9:30, but it doesn't sound late if you're young.
Well,
burn right at the end of the podcast. Sorry.
This is a bummer because I don't have a mute button like I have in Zoom. I feel so much less powerful.
Image of nice guy just exploded.
I feel so much less powerful without a mute button. Dang it. Well,
I love it. And thanks for having me. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I would like to join some more podcasts, and I actually, I'm not like a great fan of discussions in real life. I mean, I'm not talking too much in real life, but when it comes to pool, I like to exchange opinions. So if you had like a podcast that we could discuss some interesting matters, I will be always happy to join. And it was very fun talking to you today too.
Well, it seems like we could get you on our weekly show sometime. How about we do that?
That will be fantastic. I'm applying application sent.
All right, so send it in the mail, and I suppose I suppose I can send you out some swag too. So we'll hang out here afterwards, and I'll get you a nice package set up, and I'll send it over to you. But
Yes.
and if you like listening to Wojtek, you get to hear some more of them in the future. It sounds like.
Oh, comment section exploded with happiness. No, just kidding. But yeah, it's just I follow some of your podcasts, and it's like quality discussions every time. I mean, you guys really are experienced already, and I really like the thought exchange on very and on a lot of topics. It's nice that if you disagree, it's always in a nice manner, and like always having the right points. I'm always listening to like. This guy know what he's talking about. So it's quality podcast. I recommend to anyone. Queue it up. It's the best in the business. I mean, I really want to support it. As you said, we didn't agree for any kind of sponsorship, but I just want to support it because it's something we need in pool. So send me those patches. They'll be on my Q case.
You got it, and you read it perfectly this time. You didn't even have to look at the script, so I appreciate that.
Cool.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll let you sign off. Give them your name, who you are, and tell them to look out for you.
Thank you very much, Nate, and see you soon on some other occasions, and hopefully see you in the US on the US Open. Yeah.
Hopefully, we're watching you in the finals.
Oh yeah, that will be nice. That will be great. I'll work for that. Still couple days to go. Yeah. Have a nice day, everyone, and thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, everybody.